Hi, it's Theo, and thank you for joining me. Today I wanted to go over the best budget decks you can use to climb to Legend. Now it's been about 2 weeks since the expansion launched, and it's become pretty clear what's kind of good and what isn't. So today I've gathered 9 different decks you can use to climb to Legend with a positive win rate. So all these are definitely viable, and they all have less than 5,000 dust cost, so definitely budget friendly. So let's go over the first deck, which is this Menagerie Knight. Now you'll see a couple more Menagerie decks coming. It just that is really good for these budget decks. And this one is the Frost version. This version is extremely cheap. You only have one epic that you need to craft, Seamstress, and you might not even need it, honestly, and one legendary, which is free. So yeah, pretty much just commons and rares, which makes it really easy to get. And yeah, what this deck wants to do is just get on board early with these tokens. You get a lot of these 1-drops. You got Brittle Bone, and you can use on these Death Shadows that you have here. And then later on, you can buff them with the Menagerie Jug. And yeah, with it being +3/+3, that's a lot of stats that you get. And then if that doesn't win, you also have a ton of damage that you can just deal with the Horizon's Edge. Just 50 damage each location. That is quite a lot. Mirror Manipulator is 10 damage each, and then we have the Corpsicle as well, which is just potentially 3 damage each turn. So yeah, this deck definitely wants to win fast, get on board, and then push some damage. So after recording the video, one more deck popped up that's doing pretty well and is very budget friendly, and that is this Handbuff DK. And yeah, it's only running one legendary. You don't even need it, I'd say. You can play like something like Mermaid, but yeah, it's been doing really well, and it's really cheap. And yeah, like the name says, right, it's Handbuff. So you got a couple of buffs. We got the Spellstone, we got Blood Tap, got the Amateur Puppeteer, and yeah, all those things buff quite a bit. And then you have cards that really work well with the boss fight. We got the No Muncher, got the Swarm Guard, that's 3 minions, got the Rainbow Seamster, which is nice. You don't get the Reborn, but yeah, you just get a big lifesteal minion. And we also get the Shambling Zombie Tank. So yeah, lots of minions that are really good when buffed. And the deck just works quite well together. Then we have the Cliff Dive Demon Hunter. And yeah, this is a bit different than you might have seen. But it's getting pretty popular lately. And it's been doing really well in High Legend as well. So definitely a great deck. Yeah, this Cliff Dive deck is all about the Ball Hawk. And yeah, what used to be the Armor Demon Hunter, right, with Arcanite Defense Crystal. Now this is the one you want to resummon. So definitely you need to get this early on board, and then yeah, you get a bunch of these. Then you can summon it again with the Ravenous Fell Hunter, and then you can summon those again with the Return Policy. And yeah, just like Armor Demon Hunter, you get a ton of these Ballhawks. And while Armor Demon Hunter didn't necessarily kill the opponent, yeah, this deck will kill the opponent most likely. Cards just deal so much damage. And also you've got the Cliff Dive to get either the Fell Hunter or the Inquisitor. And yeah, Inquisitor, definitely want to set up a turn that, yeah, if you play Cliff Dive, that you can actually attack the face with it, because, yeah, you want this to go face. And it's just so much damage. Now, next deck is the Imbue Druid, which has also been gaining in popularity lately, and it's a pretty good deck. I also faced it a bunch of times in a High Legend. Now, I did cut 2 legendaries for this, Malorn and Shladdersail, which you could play if you want, but yeah, we are in a budget video, so I can't put all those cards in this deck. But yeah, if you want to replace something, you can replace like Witchfoot Apple. I'm not the biggest fan of this with it. Reforestation or Trillmax, those you could probably replace to get those legendaries. But yeah, this is just Imbue Druid, and yeah, you want to imbue fast, because that's what this deck all about. Get those huge plants with the Imbue that you can play every turn, potentially get 2 of them, a sing-along buddy. But yeah, definitely early on you really want to play a lot of cheap spells. Get the like 4/4/5/5 golems, and then yeah, having that every turn is pretty big. A lot of decks just can't deal with it. And yeah, that is your plan with this deck. And here's another deck that I've also seen at High Legend. It's the Handbuff Hunter. It's been a bit less popular than when it was a few days ago at the start of the patch, but it's still a very good deck to climb. It can still win very fast, and that's because, yeah, these huge buff, right? Reserve spot on the Mythical Rune Bear that, or the Ziliax. Even Ziliax is even scary, honestly. But yeah, a buff on one of those two with Couple Muscle, like, yeah, you get such a huge minion, well, 2 minions. With these on the board early, it's just so strong. Like so few decks can deal with like 18 stats on turn 4. And then yeah, if you hit once or twice for those minions, yeah, they might not be dead yet, right? 18 damage, but yeah, you have so much damage in this deck as well. Just to finish them off, you got the weapon, you've got the quick shot, the Huffer that you can also buff. So many options to deal damage, and yeah, the games can be over very fast when you get like a turn 4 Ziliax or even a turn 3 Mythical Rune Bear. And then we have the second Hunter deck, which is another Menagerie deck, and yeah, this one It looks pretty much like the Zerg Egg Hunter, but yeah, without the Zerg cards. You can still play that version. It might actually be better, but yeah, it was just over 5,000 dust, I think, so I didn't put it here, but that is definitely still viable. But not to say that this deck is bad, quite the opposite. This deck is quite strong because it is very aggressive and very sticky on the board, and yeah, a lot of decks don't have to AoE for this, and then you can just, you have these eggs, you can keep buffing them. You can buff them with the Cryoprax, you can buff them with the Menagerie DK, and it's just really annoying for opponents to deal with these eggs, and then you leave them up. You can punish them with these cards, right? That they buff them. Also, you got the RC Rampage, which often is a 4 mana 12/12 on turn 4. Really strong, and just, yeah, lots of death rattles that makes it really annoying for the opponent to deal with the board. And then together with all the 1-drops, yeah, you can buff those, and you can win games again very fast. And then we have a Protoss Mage, and yeah, this is just pretty much the deck people play in Legend. And while there's a few other builds you can play, like, it doesn't matter too much, I'd say. And this is just a good build that's very cheap. And yeah, it is a Protoss deck, so you're obviously trying to get that Colossus going. That's really what all this deck is about. Like, it's very hard to win in any other way than with this Colossus. And that means, yeah, just trying to survive until you can play it, while, yeah, playing all your Protoss spells. So you can charge it up, basically, and then late game, yeah, you want to make this 8 mana. So you can play it for 8 mana, and then bounce with Brewmaster, so you basically have 4 Colossus, and yeah, no deck really survives 4 of them. Then we have the third Menagerie deck, and it is Paladin, and yeah, just like the other decks, it is quite an aggressive deck. One thing though, it does run Toref, which definitely isn't needed, but yeah, this list had it, and it's still under 5k dust, but yeah, definitely no need to craft this one. Absolutely not necessary. You can play something like Ziliax, which is also legendary, but you probably do have that card because yeah, so many decks play Ziliax, still one of the best cards in the game. But yeah, Toref, absolutely not necessary. But this deck, yeah, just like the other Menagerie decks, just a very aggressive deck. You got a lot of early game, even Wisps, because they're undead, so you can buff them with that Jug. And then yeah, you want to go kind of wide right, and then buff your board with stuff like the Busybot, Crusade Aura, Flash Hill. Like, all those cards just, yeah, really help you win the game fast if you get on board. Even running the new card, the Mother Duck, just get 4 minions. Especially good if you already have, like, a Crusader or on board, right? So all of them are basically 3/2s of rush, and yeah, that is pretty strong. And then we have the last Menagerie deck, and although, yeah, this one is also a Menagerie deck, it's not quite as built for the Menagerie cards as the other ones, because, yeah, the Aggro Priest decks, they're already pretty good with a lot of different tribes. So yeah, just adding this to the list is pretty easy, right? You're already running like the Undead Pirate here, you got a Beast, you got a Draenei, got another Beast here, like you got the Dragons here that you can summon, you got the Demons, like so many different tribes that yeah, you don't even have to play like weaker minions to make it work. It just goes into the deck, and yeah, it's the Aggro Priest, right? We've seen like Protoss Priest before. Aggro Protoss, like, this is kind of a different version of it. It's just yeah, taking away the Protoss cards and adding like the Jug, Xaviers, and Observer of Mysteries. And again, this is one of those priest decks that can snowball pretty fast, right? Once you get bored, you may buff with Shadow Ascendant, then you buff those minions with the Menagerie Jug, and then yeah, you push so much damage, and you got a bit of finishing power as well with Hot Calls and Acupuncture. That, yeah, can do quite a bit of damage for Priest. And then the last deck we have is the Pirate Rogue. But last but definitely not least, because yeah, also another deck that I've seen quite a bit at High Legend. Just a really strong deck. And why is that? It's because actually the location in Crystal Cove is really strong in this one. It goes super well with the Water Cannon, because if there's an empty board, yeah, you use this location, and then you attack with the Water Cannon, you get a 5/5 Pirate that will go face. Also, that works extremely well with the Bargain Bin Buccaneer. I've had this be on the board on turn 3, with 3 of them being a 5/5, and yeah, that is kind of tough to deal with. And other than that, you also got a bunch of ways to yeah, buff your pirates. One thing to note is you got the Sailboat Captain. So if ever one of your minions sticks on the board, and maybe you even played Shalados already, you can yeah, buff it with this +5/+5 Dream card, then give it Wind Fury, and yeah, probably win the game through that. And yeah, just an aggressive list that yeah, can push a lot of damage from hand. And yeah, draw also pretty fast because we got this Toy Boat. So yeah, even if you just play 1 Bargain Bin Buccaneer, that's already draw 2, or even draw 3 if you already played Lucky Comet before that. So yeah, this deck draws pretty fast, and yeah, can win pretty fast, especially with that Sailboat Captain. And those are all the budget decks I have for you. All of these, again, viable to climb to Legend. Now, if you have any other ideas for decks that are viable to climb and are budget decks, let me know in the comments, and maybe help some other people out that don't have too much dust. And thank you for watching, and if this video was helpful, make sure to like and subscribe.